Hi guys, my name is Miller and welcome back to an update video once again. A couple of days ago, Natural Motion shared the update details on the Tumblr page where they shared a majority of the info, but there is one thing they didn't mention on it, but that is for later. The update itself brings a lot of new cars, 3 new season price cars, 1 prestige car, a Duality Cup, a Flash event car, and the start of a new series with the final prize being the Speedtail, with the first car being an even more special car which people will love. Aside of that, more info too on what exactly will happen with the showdowns. But first, the season price cars, and from past update notes we have seen that the given order is in most cases the exact order they will drop in. So we have the BMW M8 mentioned, the McLaren 720S Spider and the Lotus Evora GT 430. 2 of them being a tier 5 car and the third one being a tier 4 car. The BMW M8 is a car which without a doubt will become people's favorite BMW in game, until they would put like an M6 GT3 version or something like that, just because of it's kind of a really badass car. Again, we see the known BMW colors pop up, with the season price purple star version coming in the orange we have seen on the M2 competition and the milestone spec coming in grey. Performance wise I would say it's mid-range, but definitely faster than I expected with an 8.2. I say mid-range because nowadays 8.5 can be considered as rather slow. For me, definitely a car worth going for because we did miss a tier 5 BMW. Second milestone season price car will be the McLaren 720S Spider, and I think this will be the most interesting car for this update in terms of season prizes. Yes, it's another 720S to some perhaps, like we have another Mustang or another Camaro, but the Spider version to me is slightly different. I can't put my finger on it exactly why, but it just radiates sheer elegance and it just draws me in. It makes me feel like taking it to the Côte d'Azur every weekend, and honestly, I don't think anyone would mind doing that. The season price spec comes in the by now well known silver blue-ish color, while the milestone spec can be expected to drop in this gold color. Performance wise, these will be close to the 720S we already have in game, but slower than the 720S Vorsteiner, which of course makes sense, but nonetheless a pretty neat collection car. The final car is one that I'll think will get less hype, but could be a savior for us in the future. The Lotus Evora GT 430, a tier 4 5-star car which could in the distant future end up as a prestige car, which I'm all for. As of late we're having so many tier 5 cars also as prestige cars, and it's basically draining us all financially. This breath of air could basically save us one day in the future. Did you know that every Lotus model name started with an E? I never noticed it, I just never knew about it. Normally plenty of you have Lotus parts in abundance, and knowing its performance in the lower tiers, I expect it to be a decent tier 4 too. At least the dyno shows a 10.5 so far, so let's see what it gives. The season price comes in dark ash grey, while milestone runners will have to settle with the red version. Have to say though that I like how the wing end plates also change color when the color changes. Now the mentioned prestige cars, maybe some ups and some downs there. To begin with, the new Porsche Boxster. Oh, so you thought BMW could just take the lead in a tier and knock a Porsche down? Yeah, nah, that's not how we do it here. A new tier 3 Porsche has been added, the updated version of the tier 2 King, the new Boxster. A refreshing facelift but without the options to actually edit it or buy it for gold coins. You will have to pull it out of the crates with a set color preset you can't really choose from. I expect it to be pretty fast and to be able to beat the 8.1 dyno it has as of now, and hope it to be close to the BMW. The other 2 mentioned cars as prestige cars are cars we already know and most likely have. And first you have the Jaguar FType SVR, and no, I'm not talking about a tier 4 car, it's a tier 5 version, which means it will cost us some in-game currency. But Jaguar parts are not as rare, and if you have been playing for the past year or so, you should have claimed it as a milestone car back in season 56. The showroom doesn't really show if new versions have been added, and the post doesn't mention anything either. The final mentioned prestige car for me is a big and not because of the car, but rather because they had to add a difficult one, didn't they? The Cadillac CTSV, a recent milestone car in season 79, but one we won't have many fusion parts for most likely. This will be more of a grind, but it's the 3rd season, and hope that by then I will have more stacked up. Now onto the events. First the free ones, as I feel those are the most interesting ones, but I'm not sure which one to start with, the Duality Cup or the Halloween event, which wasn't mentioned in the update notes. Guess I'll start with the Halloween event. As I said in my season video, I'd be surprised if Natural Motion would skip out on such an event, and of course they didn't. But this year the prize is the greatest one so far, with the reward being a Purple Star tier 5 car that can run 7.5. The C10 Tiffany, but in green this time around. A nice touch, kinda rusty old car, almost perfect choice for a Halloween event. Like last year, I expect an event where you can win the car through a ladder race with various lock-ins, and then you get the cup for this car on its own. Performance wise, I expected them to be identical to other Purple Star C10s we have in game already, running roughly a 7.5. But the one thing will be begging for is an event with the Halloween stealth track again, with the story mode. To be fair, that was the most fun event in game so far. Also bring back the makeups with the grotto and Jerry etc. By the way, look at how awesome the nitrous looks on this car when running it. As mentioned earlier, the other free event is a Duality Cup for 2 top tier 5 cars that everyone will love without a doubt. A Duality Cup for the Aston Martin Vulcan and the Ferrari FXX Evo. Not the regular FXX, but the Evo. There is no mentions of added liveries for both cars, but I do hope to see some new colors perhaps. Though Ferrari, I think that would be hard to achieve. But I think the most important point of this is that we can conclude what we learned from the last Duality Cup, that you can get the cars through a 20 times drop rate on gold crates, like a regular Golden Cup or Evo Cup, but instead of a 10 spin loyalty, it's only 7. Meaning you will save out 30 gold keys if you have terrible luck on trying to get one car. For me, I see this as an opportunity to bring the cars from under the dust, while for others it could be a chance to collect some stage 6 parts of 2 7.5 beasts, and then for other people it's just nice to have both cars added to your collection. It will definitely be a fun cup. Can't wait for it. On to the paid events, and for these we again have 2 lined up, a flash event and the start of a new series. The flash event will be for a quite special car, the Lamborghini Sian FKP 37, the fastest Lamborghini and the first supercapacitor based hybrid by Lamborghini itself. The name Sian, Thunderbolt in Bologna's dialect, is chosen for various reasons. First and for all, its speed, predicted to hit 350 km per hour, making it the fastest Lambo. Then to represent the area Bologna, but also the explosive way it got introduced to the automotive world. The name FKP37 is more of an honor to the late Volkswagen chairman Ferdinand Karl Pirsch, and 37 for the year he was born in 1937. He recently passed away, so it feels like a fitting tribute. In total there will be only 63 produced units made, and my favorite part of this car so far has been the active aero, which ends up having M plates when it pops out. The other one is the start of a new series, the Best of British, and according to the files a series of 5 cars with 10 as a final prize being the McLaren Speedtail, so it will be very alike of the Porsche and the Ferrari 70th anniversaries and the Formula Italia series, where you basically need to pay for 5 cars and then in the finale you need to run them in an event to then get the Speedtail. Of the 5 cars, 2 will already be available in game in this update, the Noble M600 Carbon Sport, and it's a quite special handmade British car, made out of full carbon and coming in purple. But I think the car that will run away with the most attention will be without a doubt the McLaren Senna. Finally, the Senna has arrived to the game. After such a long time of begging by loads of people for the car, it has finally come, and it's also a pretty damn fast car with the dyno running at 7.2. I will make then a whole video on it later on, but I think this will be the first part of the 5 cars that you will need to get the Speedtail in the end. The other 4 being the already mentioned Noble M600 Carbon Sport, which can run sub 7.5, and 3 other cars which are, for now, still under covers, representing the Union Jack, and it kinda looks amazing. For those interested, the 3 other cars will be the Ginetta Aquila, the TVR Sagaris, and the Ultima RS. None of these names actually sound British at all, but yeah. I'm telling ya, these cars will be fast, really fast, and the Speedtail is rumored to dip under 7.1, but of course dynos can change over updates, as officially it will probably have the finale in 2.10-ish. Now that is all covered in terms of cars. The only mentioned big change in terms of playstyle is the addition of more showdown events, but in a good way. They split it up into 4 segments, so I will do the same thing. The first one is titled 2.8 Showdown. We've been looking to see how Showdown fits into the current event cadence in CSR 2. To support this, we'll be trialing a series of showdown events that utilize the Prestige and Crew Championship cars, as well as additional sources of Crew RP. This is interesting to see on how we can see some cars being put to more and useful use rather than collecting dust, but what I'm fuzzy about is a Crew RP mention. If they make it so that you need to hit a certain amount of trophies for Crew RP, top 10 will be even more unpredictable. Now the second part, more in detail on the Prestige Showdown. Prestige Showdown events will run the first week of a new season as a replacement for the Milestone Leaderboard Cup with the same entry requirements, previous season Prestige car. In addition, players will have the chance to collect parts for current Prestige car before the Prestige Cup goes live. Now this is something I'm looking forward to, using last Prestige car which you already had to upgrade to win parts for the current Prestige car. As long as this is additional to the Prestige Cup rewards, I'm all for this. I'm quite positive on this one, might help us out with cash and keys, and I really hope it doesn't replace it so we still get additional rewards instead of replacing rewards. Third segment, Championship Showdown. In a similar cadence to Prestige Showdown, we'll also be running Championship during the second week of the Crew Championship season. These events will support the entry of Crew Championship and Milestone car collected from the previous season. Now this one I'm afraid will be a bust, because it's quite expensive to upgrade so many cars in a row. So many won't probably even bother running in these, just like we have with the Milestone leaderboard right now. Maybe if the rewards pay off, this can change, definitely if they add more cash to it. Now the best segment in my opinion. In the 2.8 release we'll also be testing new event entry requirements, PP and EV restrictions, along with more targeted car entry requirements during the Prestige and Crew Showdown events. We'll also be testing out these restrictions to understand how our fans, players, compete when adapting to different tuning and upgrade settings. This is something I'm looking forward to. This enables dyno killers out there to be used and perhaps various cars being competitive. So when you start a race and you're at the racing line, you don't know who will be faster if he runs a different car. I've said this before, we should have a PP or Evo limit, and thank God they not only listened to me, but also to so many other people who also asked for it. The only thing I will add to this is that there is a mention of a new racing track. There will be a new British weather themed track, so they probably will turn it basically into a rainy race, and I'm always down for a new or redesigned track. Other in-game changes are for now unknown, the player ID is still showing at the bottom, to the frustration of content creators, and there is still no garage reordering. Yeah, we will have to deal with it. So that's a wrap. I expect the update to roll out fully to Android and iOS by next week. Keep up to date by following me on Instagram or Twitter on @MillerCSR2. If you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. My name is Miller, see you around, there is no Evo Cup in this update, and keep racing.